Okay, so this is the exact step-by-step process I would use when identifying a new profitable product to sell on Amazon. So let me give you a bit of an example, okay? I'm talking about private label. Now, private label is where you take a product and you put your barcode on the product, which means no one else can sell that. I've spoken about that before here, but just for those of you that are new, it's where you take that barcode and you put it on the product, right? So the first thing I would do is I would start researching for a potential product. I would go on to Amazon, I would navigate to best sellers, and there I would go into subcategories and I would find a particular, I would call it like suite or family of products that have high volume, so high demand. So you'll see on Amazon underneath the images, you'll see like 500 bought, 300 bought, 1,000 bought, 10,000 bought. You want to find a category of products when you use the primary search term that has nice volume, okay? Because if you see nice volume, generally, now it doesn't want to be too big, but if you see volume that's, you know, there's 300 here and there's 600 here, if you see that, you know there's demand, right? Now you want to start looking at those products and you want to identify, is there a way I can improve what's going on here already? So could I have better images? Could I have better copy? Could I have my product fulfilled via Amazon and not via this slow FBA? You know, could I have a better price? Could I have a better product? Could I and maybe bundle it together with something else? You need to be thinking like this, right? Once you've agreed on kind of what you're looking to do and you've identified, okay, there is demand here and I can make a better offer and I can do all these things, improve all these things, or at least some of them, right? You're straight away more likely to get sales, right? Because you're starting to make things better for the consumer, a better offer, right? So what I would do then is I would actually reach out to suppliers in China using Alibaba, right? Now I do have a free script you can grab, the script I use every single day to reach out to suppliers. I'll be doing it later on. I found a product on a research session today and I'll be using that script to reach out to a supplier or suppliers. But grab it in my free course, it's in my bio. And basically you want to get pricing, right? You want to get the pricing, you want to get the quantity they require you to order, you want to get the carton dimensions, all this kind of stuff, right? So we can work out the profitability in this product. If we then see that it's profitable, we're like, okay, this is profitable. This is something that, you know, this might just work. There's sufficient margin here, right? We want to order a sample. Now, the reason we order a sample is because we want to make sure that the product, when it arrives, in the Amazon fulfillment center, when we order like 500 or 600, whatever we order, right, is okay, that it's not bad quality, because we don't want to get negative reviews. And not just negative reviews which hurt conversion. What will also happen is people will start returning the product, and when they start returning the product, basically Amazon starts charging for that, us for that, and then eventually Amazon will say, look guys, you can't sell that anymore, and they'll shut it down, and you're left with a pile of product that has to be removed from Amazon at great expense, your expense, or you just tell them to destroy it. And we don't want that, right? And that doesn't really happen if you do this right. It's never happened to me. Basically, we make sure the product is okay. If there's anything we want improved, so we want to make it better in a certain way, like, you know, we see something potentially that's wrong, and if they change that small thing, it would be so much better. We tell the supplier now, and we agree all these things with the supplier. So I had one product selling, and it was a bracket, and what I done was I actually got the bracket reinforced. Well, I'm selling a product, sorry, that has that done. It was actually Alex that did it, my business partner. But we got the bracket reinforced, right? And that solved one of the major pain points of the consumer, whereby the bracket would bend. That eliminated that. And that was a simple thing. It didn't cost a lot extra for the supplier to do it. Like, you were talking pennies, right? Or cents on the dollar. And that meant that our product was now an improved product. We had a better listing, we had faster shipping, we had a better price. You know, with all these things that we done to basically allow us to come into that market that's already doing really well, stand out and make plenty of sales and ultimately make plenty of money. So once we do that and we make sure the pricing and all is okay, we then order a small order quantity, right? A small order test batch, right? That could be around maybe $3,000, but sometimes it can be less. Like my first product was dog whistles. That was $1,000. That's what I spent. But sometimes I spend, you know, on a product, 3,500, 4,500, £5,500. Well, 5,500. Well, yeah, £5,500 plus on a product. But generally, look, let's aim for around $3,000, right? Total, all in, right? You get that product in, and you use Amazon Global Logistics and you do all that kind of stuff, right? And you make sure your listing is optimized. So you have like a really good listing, as I said, with really good copy that's SEO optimized. And you run some nice PPC campaign. You have your brand, which you have trademarked with the IPO or the USPO in the US to protect your intellectual property. And you start selling that product, right? And because it's a private label product, because it is under your own brand, apart from having higher margins and all that kind of stuff, no one else can sell that product, as I said. So that means that when you optimize your listing and you put all this effort in, you're going to get 100% of the sales on that listing. And no one else is going to have the buy box, right? So we then test the product, right? And if the product starts selling well, and usually when a product launches, right, you might have one sale. And then you might have nothing for a few days, even a week or two. And then suddenly you have another sale, and then another, and then another. And then eventually it should just take off, right? And just start moving up to you get a kind of run rate, right? Sometimes that run rate, I was asked on a call, like, why do you let products go out of stock? Sometimes you're like, okay, I got a bit of a run rate. And then suddenly it's like, hold on, we're selling 8, we're selling 10, we're selling 12 a day. Like, I'm going to be out of stock in no time, right? But other times you might sell 6 and you can say, well, look, I can start ordering now and I'll know my restock will be in before this runs out. But by and large, almost every product I've launched, I always run out of stock. And you know what? It's not ideal, but you can recover. It's not the end of the world. So we want to get that run rate because that will determine ultimately how much we need to reorder in order to maintain that product in stock. And then from there on, like I said, it's just about maintaining that product in stock. And what you should be doing with the proceeds of that is you should be ordering more units, but you also should be looking at more products. You might be looking at expanding that product into other markets. So, for example, if you're sending it to the UK, you might start sending it to the US, you might start sending it to Canada, you might start sending it directly to Europe. Depending on the product. Not every product can be moved around markets, but generally we like to see products that can. And by doing that, you're basically saying to the supplier, you're getting better pricing. You're saying what you would have maybe originally ordered 500 in an order, you're now ordering 1,000, but you're just splitting them between different markets or maybe ordering more. Like I remember when the dog whistles, I'm no longer selling them, by the way. But I remember the dog whistles when they were really flying in. I was selling maybe 50 to 60 units a day all around the world. So I was continually reordering that product and having it shipped to the different Amazon fulfillment centers. So yeah, I think that ultimately is private label. That is it. In a nutshell, that's how it works. At a really high level, that's what I do, right? That's how, I find products, I assess the demand, I figure out if it's profitable, I get a sample to make sure it's okay, I order it, I make sure I have the best possible listing, and then make sure I have the most optimized SEO and PPC, and then I make a profit and I just make sure I keep it in stock. Literally, that's it. I want to expand it. That's it. I sell it in more places, so basically sell more units. And maybe I sell it on places off Amazon, but just literally just keeping that product selling. So yeah, anyone any questions on this, let me know down in the comments. Please hit subscribe, please follow. If you want to do this yourself as well, go and grab my course in my bio. It's free. We used to charge for it, 3 hours long. It'll teach you on more the ins and outs of that. And then you can decide, if this is something you want to pursue or not. But yeah, it's something you can do and it's something you can start. And just take your time and you will achieve it.